Alright, welcome back to another episode of Enjoy Northwoods. Today it's a little bit different video. It's a shop day today, but woke up at 17 degrees and as you can see, chicken water is frozen. Instead of putting in a heater this year, we're gonna put an old school freeze-proof water for our chickens. So I'd like to share that. It'd be pretty interesting. It just takes a bowl, a shovel, some scrap wood, a little bit of straw, and that's all you need. So stay tuned. So what we're going to do is I have this piece of old drain pipe, and you don't even have to have this, but I thought we're going to try this year. And all we're basically doing is we're going to dig a hole below the frost line, which is about 4 feet, and we're going to let the Earth's geothermal, which is usually low 50s, keep our water warm from the inside out. And we're going to dig a hole and kind of bury this down, and we're going to insulate around it, build a frost-proof box on it, and then we'll put our bowl on the top, and that should keep the cold air back, and that 50-degree air to keep our water from freezing. So I used to do this all the time back in the day. And I mean, it could work for in your dog kennels or anywhere like that. So we're using the tube today to just to concentrate that heat source right underneath our bowl, and we'll leave a void around it at the top so it can heat the sides a little bit. But you don't have to have the culvert. You can just dig the hole, and I'll show you what we're gonna do. So let's get after it. Dig ourselves a 4-foot hole deep. And I dug it big enough to fit our tube in. We'll use that other tube. And then what we're doing now, my son's building a 2x2 box out of some 2x12 that we are going to dig into the ground just to give us a frost barrier at the top of the surface where the weather can touch it, to insulate it a little bit better from the interior of that freezing. So that's where we're at. We're going to mark that off on our hole. Well, then we're going to take our box and we're going to just lay it out on here, trace that out so we can dig this in. We're going to actually sink this box, and we're going to sink it up to about a couple inches exposed. And that'll help also keep it insulated. The whole key is to keep the frost as far away from that the water as we can, to let the warmth from the earth keep it warm. So that's our next step. Give me a couple minutes and we'll do that. Get it centered pretty good. Now what we're gonna do is just trace it so that fits down in there. Ground's already frozen. Ain't deep, but it's already frozen. And then we're going to dig this out so we can sink the box. And I'm going to get my best guy on it right now. What we're going to do is we're just going to slide this drain tube back down into the hole, and that'll keep the hole from filling up as he's digging this section out. I got my youngest boy on it, passing down some skills to the next generation of homesteaders. Yes, sir. And it is frozen. Alrighty. Grab the pick, boy. Don't be scared of it. Yeah, we're already starting to frost. Jeez. Deeper than I thought it was. So anyways, give them a minute.
Yeah, looks like he's done that before. Oh!
Take our bowl that we're going to use and measure this inside diameter, or the outside diameter where this is going to fit inside, and we need a 19-inch circle. And we nail our lid on, and then we dug this out, and then we went deeper around the base just to help keep that frost line away from the center of this tube. You know, we're just going to pack that down, that inside trough that we dug around it. We went down another couple feet past that, and then we're going to mark the tube and take the tube out and cut it. This is the final hole there. We go well below 4 feet and then step it down another 2 feet or so and then into our box hole. So we'll cut our pipe, slide that baby back down. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some straw, and we're not gonna like totally pack it heavy, but what we're gonna do is just fill this in, and we're just basically using this as natural insulation. It's going to settle a little bit, but you want to pack it down. But the actual air inside the insulation actually helps as insulation also. So you don't want a tight path, because if you pack it too tight together, the frost will travel through it. So we just kind of keep it a little bit more on the lighter side. And what we're going to do is just pack it just about to the level we got it. And this is just putting a nice insulation bond around it. So we just get this all filled up. Ooh, that's a perfect amount. All right, now that we got that bottom hole packed in around the tube, kind of leveled off, we're going to set our box back on top. Pretty leveled off. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take some more straw. We're going to pack the inside of this box all the way around. Now it's better, we're going to leave these more solid, but all we're going to do is we're going to stick this in. Keep it out of the hole as much as we can, and you can see how we're just going to line that. Pat them corners good. And this is just to let the heat up and keep the cold air out. Keep sliding it around. But this is about the most important thing is when you're packing this, just to keep everything packed where there's no like a big gap where any cold air can just seep in one big spot. Too much. But the main thing is to keep all this outside edge packed well. Down around the base inside there. That is awesome right there. And then what we'll do now is we'll clean this off a little bit. And then we're going to put a coat of black paint on this box just to help absorb the heat during the daytime, just to keep it warmed up. And then we're going to take a little bit of this straw to pack around the outside of the box on this edge to fill in the gap, and then we'll put a light grade of this dirt over top just to seal it all in, and that's really going to keep the footprint of the frost away from our bowl. So pretty easy geothermal heater. It's been around as long as people been keeping chickens, because they didn't have electricity back then. And just an old school thing that people are forgetting about, because they sell all kinds of heaters and everybody's got electricity, but you don't have to have it. Just and that's just going to help the dirt from any dirt falling back into the hole a little bit, really. All right, there's our finished product. See how deep that is. We just keep it nice and cozy warm. So we'll slide the bowl in, and then maybe in extreme conditions, if it's snug like a bug. Maybe in extreme conditions, it might get a little bit of ice over the skim coat of ice over the top, but the black should warm it up, because it'll be warming from underneath always. And it'll eventually, once the sun comes out, it should thaw it, just to help generate a little more solar heat, just to heat it from the top side. So anyways, thanks buddy for the help. And make sure you teach your kids tricks of the past, because they're disappearing quickly. So anyways, super easy. We probably got about an hour and a half into the whole project. So anyways, we'll see you on the next one. We put a bowl of water by it for a test. Got pretty hard last night. We got water. So there you go. Okay, a couple quick tips. With such a large opening in extreme temperatures, you're going to fight it, because it is such a large surface area with the heat loss that you won't win. So depending on where you live, you might want to just lay a piece of plywood over top of it at night and take it back off in the morning, and that'll help keep that heat in. And also you could put a piece of foam on it if you're in really extreme conditions. Put a piece of foam board that fits on the inside and just floats on top. Throw a piece of plywood over, and that gives it a little bit of insulation on top, and that should solve the problem. Or you could put a piece of plywood and restrict the opening, so you just have a smaller hole in the center, and that's the only thing exposed to the outside, and that'll help retain the heat through the night. We made ourselves a little one with the foam board and one in the center. We're going to try it in the center once it gets a little bit colder, just to see how they still have access to the water if we don't flip that off every day. So it gives you the option, you might be able to leave it on. And then one more option is, like I said, restrict the surface area, so you could either keep it on just a small edge exposed, or the center of the bowl like we had with the piece of plywood. And they sell a small solar water pump, low voltage, on Amazon for 12 bucks. And putting that in there to keep the water circulating, it would come on in the morning, and any ice that formed overnight on the surface would quickly melt. And then that way you might not have to with maintenance of removing and putting the lid back on every day, just trying to keep our labor down. But that's an option. We'll do a quick follow-up video if we had to do any tweaking on this in about a month, when temperatures stayed cold and got a little bit of snow. So anyways, I hope this helped. You're welcome, ladies. You're welcome. I'll see you in the morning for my breakfast.